Hey legends, this is Magnus. How you doing? And hope y'all are having a good day. Hey, and if this video comes up at the right time, hopefully this should come out on Friday, the 28th. Hopefully, if it does, this will be on Black Friday, right after Thanksgiving. I hope everybody has had a great week. Hope y'all had a great time, whether it be with family, friends, coworkers, or if you wanted to have a you party, all have fun by yourself. Hope you have a great time. I just wanted to make this video to ramble about Avengers Doomsday for about an hour, and I just want to do it before the alleged teaser that'll be before Avatar: Fire and Ash, which I'm already gonna see, and oh, heaven forbid if anything for Zootopia has a teaser. So I'm just going to, in the background, put a recording of a previous win that I had in competitive after a 3-loss streak. So, and I happen to get MVP somehow. Given these stats, I don't get how I got MVP. I don't know how I did. But I'm just gonna put this in the background so that y'all can have something to look at while I just talk and ramble for about an hour. So, going into it, please remember to comment, like, subscribe, share the video. You can react to maybe bits and pieces of it if you want, but it's up to you. So, let's just get straight into it. So, what do I feel about Avengers Doomsday? So, first off, I know for a fact, okay, there's a lot going into this movie. There's a lot going in. So, Doomsday has to set up Secret Wars, which also means that it, much like Avengers Infinity War to Endgame, Infinity War gave us a cliffhanger ending, and then that goes into Endgame that has to fix it. Doomsday, I feel, is going to be the same thing. Now, of course, I'm somebody who wishes Kang was never dropped. I wish Kang was never dropped as a villain, and I just feel like the pivot to Doctor Doom is something I disagree with. Would I say it's a mistake? Only time will tell. But going into it, there's so much for Avengers Doomsday that it's, even if it's 2 hours long, it's not going to be able to cover certain things. I am okay with that going in. For example, other YouTubers and people I've spoken to, they've mentioned points like Sam Wilson, Captain America, his new Avengers team, and the new Avengers with Bucky. So that dynamic would be so great to see unfold, but we're only going to get a little bit of that, if anything. And then with stuff in certain TV shows was linking into it. I'm one of the people who feels like the TV shows to me are not homework, in my opinion. Like, the movies, whenever I see them, the movies explain characters that may have had TV show introductions in a way where you didn't have to see the show in order to understand everything. Even Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I include that in that list. But with that in mind, I feel that Avengers Doomsday it has so much going against it, such as the pivot to Doctor Doom, and with the mere shot of him that we see in Fantastic Four First Steps. We don't get to see his face, which I feel was a great decision. Great decision to hide face for that moment. And so far, like what some teasers or photos have shown, the look of Doom looks very good. But I'm willing to guess that when we actually see what Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom looks like, it might be a little bit different. And at least what I think is that I'm hoping for is that this Victor Von Doom is either a mixture or a Tony Stark Iron Man that took on the name Doctor Doom. And the reason I feel that way is that in Avengers Endgame, the words that Tony stated when he was rescued by Carol Danvers and brought back to Earth they sound like something exactly what Doctor Doom would say, that they needed a suit of armor around the world, and all of the cost would be people's precious freedoms. Like, those words, even though it was Tony in a remorseful, grieving state, it was a mindset of everyone could be safer, everyone
Got
could
some
be
unfinished business.
happy or at least safe if they just did things the way I do, the way I think things should be. If people just followed my lead, these people would be safe. And I think that's very much a Doctor Doom mindset.
Needed that boost.
So I do think that after Doomsday and Secret Wars, that Robert Downey Jr., I'm certain he'll do a great job. But I do hope that that dude potentially dies, or doesn't come back, and a new dude comes. A new actor will take over the helm.
We got company.
And one thing that I thought was, okay, 1K. So I'm completely fine with having Doom at the beginning of the film, Avengers Doomsday. If you do it similar to Avengers Infinity War, where you have the Thanos introduction scene with the Black Order, where say the Council of Kangs is about to attack the multiverse, and then Doom comes in and he goes to town. This one variant goes to town and annihilates the Council of Kangs. Annihilates them. All I'm asking is that just one variant survives. Whether it be from that council or if you choose to have it where the Kang from Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, so survive being shrunk even further. I would like that as well. Either or. Just one. You just need one Kang where he can come back in a soft post-Secret Wars MCU, because to me, Kang is like, he was honestly, with his appearances in Loki and Quantumania, he was becoming my personal new favorite Marvel villain. He was becoming my new favorite because of how different to me he was compared to Thanos, how he was approached, how he was making moves earlier on his own.
We are done when I say we're done.
The multiverse saga. So having just one Kang survive and be a problem later on, wanting to link himself to the timeline in a way that, much like Avengers versus Mightiest Heroes, the way Kang was placed in that show, it was as if you couldn't kill him or to really defeat him, because without Kang, that reality of the Avengers wouldn't exist. That's what I'm hoping the future Kang can do. He can link himself to the new timeline and be so essential to it that you can't get rid of him. Almost not in a similar way to Galactus, but in a way that typical Marvel villain in the MCU where they're able to just be
Think I
killed
twisted my
off.
shoulder.
And that's something that I hope, like, I'm hoping that
Never fall!
Doomsday and Secret Wars, and I don't, other than Spider-Man Brand New Day, I don't think there's any movie in between anymore. And I think that's probably a good thing. I see benefit and disadvantage with that, because the benefit with having a movie in between would be being able to open a potential story in Battle World. Because to me, that's something that, to me, it's something that you can't just do in one movie. The concept of Battle World, like entire multiverse in one singular spot, is something so grand. It shouldn't be just relegated to a single movie. But at the cost of doing that, I think it would cheapen the impact of Doomsday and Secret Wars being Avengers event movies. So in that sense, I understand. So I think that Doctor Doom will be the protagonist, the villainous protagonist of the film, but he's going to be played the way many Doom, at least if we see this from Doom's perspective, like we did with Thanos, where Doom feels he is the one who has to save the multiverse, that he's the only one able to do it, and he's known of this problem. He's known of the problem, and he's now actively wanting to do something about it. Or, for example, say the Fantastic Four sending. What if when the Fantastic Four sent and Silver Surfer sent Galactus away to another galaxy, that may have caused something, or may have caused something with the multiverse, for example, or them trying to investigating or researching Franklin. And that is part of it, which I do believe that Franklin Richards is going to be pivotal. He's going to be pivotal to Doomsday and Secret Wars because of how the movie itself, and also how in the comics he is a beyond Omega level mutant with the ability to create multiverses as a child. And with Franklin bringing his mother back from the dead in Fantastic Four Steps, that was just a hint, a taste of the power that he has, and Galactus wanting him to take his place immortally. So I think at least 2 movies or 3 are going to be pivotal in Secret Wars to bring in a new sacred timeline. That being Franklin Richards, Loki, God of.
What else you got, Namor? Angry starfish?
Oh, not God of Stories. I think God of Time. Loki, God of Time, and Doctor Strange. I think those 3 characters may be pivotal to fixing this problem, because Doomsday, I wonder how Doomsday is going to work with Loki, because I do feel Loki is going to be important to it. I don't know how they'll do it. Like, is it going to be a Infinity Stone style treasure hunt where they're trying to get to Loki, so they have to find a way to come in contact with the TVA, and maybe Doom actually knows about the TVA, and they give an in-universe explanation as to how he knows about it. And then, at least, like in the second half of this video, I do want to go into like how I think things can be set, like how it can set up into it, because that did come to a little bit. But
and this is why I chose Reed, Namor. Stay
But since they did say, like, there are articles that there's going to be a Avengers versus X-Men factor in Doomsday, I'm not expecting that to be really long. I think that's going to be like completely short. If anything, that would probably have to be like Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Iron Man versus Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis. It's like it has to be that kind of battle where it's so brief, but it's at least climactic for when it happens. Because doing a full Avengers versus X-Men thing, that's going. I feel that will take too long. I feel like that'll take too long to do, too long to unfortunately set up, which one of the points of Secret Wars was setting two universes that comic readers care about, the mainline actual 616 universe versus the Ultimate universe, and have those two worlds be destroyed. So having the Fox X-Men universe be the two that the Fox X-Men universe and the MCU being the ones that we care about the most being destroyed makes sense, at least to me.
This is real firepower.
I don't think that watching I don't know if he'll show up. If anything, maybe as like the silhouette. Like the silhouette we see in multiple shows, like even in Wakanda Forever, with just the imprint in the sky, stars representing his eyes. Like you see the Watcher or a Watcher look over this event. Because I feel like if they use the Watcher to also help with this, it wouldn't be homework I feel it wouldn't be homework in the same way of saying like I said at the beginning, they would explain it. They would explain who the Watcher is. They would explain that and say he's been watching the universe all the way up to this point, and say he's here to help. But like because they're introducing Doom in this, introducing the Watcher on top of that might be too much. Then that also is a question for example, like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and does that get impacted by Doomsday in any way? And the reason I say that was like back when Infinity War came out, the big question was how did the snap affect Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. despite the big 50-50 battle is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. canon or not to the MCU, or is it just MCU adjacent? So that will be at least a question to be tackled when we get there. So I've been asking questions, keep asking questions, but I might as well now. I want to look at a few of the things that previous TV shows have set up and how going into Doomsday, Secret Wars, and post Secret Wars MCU, what might be saved and what might get left on the drawing board. So, starting with WandaVision, I think WandaVision I don't think anything in there has been dropped. Nothing in there that has been brought up hasn't been used somewhere else and will have something to do later on. So that one's safe. Loki, self-contained story. The main thing would be Loki, God of Time, being involved in Secret Wars or Doomsday. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Thunderbolts, and Captain America: Brave New World addressed as a lot of the stuff in there, other than the Flag Smashers, and that was something that I feel was a little bit of a mistake on Marvel's part, to have the 5-year gap with the snap and everyone coming back, and not addressing how the world was during that time, how the population being down led to some better housing, better medicine for people, more access to resources, and then once everyone's back, how it immediately got complicated, how it got unfair. I do wish they did lean into that more. What else? Okay, Miss Marvel. There's, I forget his name. Okay, so both of the boys that Kamala meets in Pakistan, where both of the boys that she meets, like I think he's called the Red Dagger, and the clandestine boy that Kamala met. Like, they're still, at least in the universe, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to show up. They're not going to show up, and if anything, they'll probably come back, hopefully in a in a new MCU scenario. And that also brings into, sorry, I just noticed this moment on the screen. That was super stupid of me to do. But Kamala, Kate Bishop, Cassie, aka Stinger or Stature, what I would call the Young Avengers or the Champions. I don't think they are going to show, if they do show up, they're not going to play a big role. They're not going to play a big role. Like, Kamala will be in the middle of trying to recruit people to the Champions, but I don't think it would be that so big of a role. Oh wait, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Oh, this hurts me, but I'm like, I want Patriot. I want Patriot to come into the MCU. I want Isaiah Bradley's either nephew or grandson to come into the MCU as Patriot. And I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna happen. And Kid Loki from Loki, darn it, like Kid Loki, and unfortunately the situation with the actor for that, which I think like his dad like blew all the money that the actor made from that role, or didn't give it to him.
30 seconds before you attack.
And I hope he's doing better. So Kid Loki, I don't think he'll show up, but I hope he even like I wouldn't want to recast him, but if they needed to bring Kid Loki into something in a future story, I think that's going to be a future story if anything.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's see what else.
We've got trouble.
Secret Invasion. Now, I'm gonna preface this saying
Help get that vehicle to its destination.
I get why people don't like that show. I get it. I'm somebody who at least I can appreciate things about it. It is, to me, the worst interpretation of the Secret Invasion storyline. It's the worst interpretation or adaptation of the Secret Invasion storyline. And a clear, better, at least good example is Earth's Mightiest Heroes adaptation, at least to me, of the Secret Invasion storyline. But for what it did, I can appreciate it. I can appreciate it for some of the certain aspects that or things that it does. I can appreciate it for stuff like that. For example, like the finality with Maria Hill's death, like the concrete death of Maria Hill, at least in the sacred timeline. Like, I can appreciate that. So, the only things I would want from, well, not only, there are a few things. There are a few things I'd want from Secret Wars. From Secret Invasion, sorry. Is that I want Gaia to come back. Oh man, I forgot her name. I forget her name. Okay. The antagonist, a side antagonist slash ally of Nick Fury in the show. Oh, Olivia. I don't think her name is Olivia, but at the end she makes a deal with Gaia, saying, "I'll help you protect your people, or as long as you also do stuff for me." I want them to keep that. Going into Avengers, there's Doomsday. I do think that the tension between humans and Skrulls should be there. I feel it should be there. I just and I want to go into it shortly on how it can work. What else? Nick Fury's wife, I do want that to stay. I want that to stay. For Nick Fury to be married to a Skrull, I want that to stay. Now what else? Which other shows? What if, like The Watcher? Sure. Captain Carter? Yeah. Another variant of Captain Carter? Yes. I get it. She was a bit overused in What If, because that is supposed to be an anthology kind of series. Each episode is its own scenario where you very rarely touch back on another concept. But season 2 pretty much became Captain Carter show, and then season 3, at least the ending, I'd say, did it again. And that last blurb at the end, like, say y'all had ideas, y'all knew y'all had other ideas for this, and you chose not to follow it. Like, what the heck, man? So certain things from What If, I'd be open to it showing up in Secret Wars, likely. So what else? Now I'm forgetting shows. Pretty much, to me, nothing from Eyes of Wakanda, which I thought was a very good show. The only problem was that it was too short. In my opinion, it was too short. But Eyes of Wakanda is such a self-contained story. Nothing in there really needs to come back, show up. Okay, Daredevil Born Again. Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be a real deciding factor from that going to happen, and with the fact that season 2 of Daredevil Born Again is supposed to air, I think, before Doomsday. So that whatever happens there is to be determined. I don't think Daredevil should be in Doomsday. I don't think he should be. Now, like, Secret Wars, yeah, that's fair. Secret Wars, yes, I think that's fair to put in there, but Doomsday, I think the cast is already, like, half of the cast that we've seen is stacked already. We don't need to make it so crowded. I know I'm missing a series or two. Vision Quest is coming, so whatever happens there apparently is going to... Hopefully it brings back Ultron, and if it does, okay, I can't expect nothing too grandiose or big. I don't feel I can expect nothing too grandiose or big going into Doomsday and Supergirl because that takes precedence. That takes full-on precedence in my mind. Oh wait, okay. Something from Falcon and the Winter Soldier that honestly makes me a little bit upset. Power broker Shannon Carter. You need, like, the thing that bugs me about her is that she is now back in the government ever since the ending of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. You mean to tell me this woman has not, like, what is she doing? We don't know what she's doing behind the scenes, and we know she has something up her sleeve. You mean to tell me that sometime after you got back in the government, you already have access to superpowered individuals. You have access to the Raft. You have access to, at the time, you had access to at least Baron Zemo. And then with the new Avengers and the 14 months since then, you had access to the Red Hulk, access to the Thinker, and I hope I'm saying it right. Oh man. And I hope I said I hope I got the villain's name right. I'm so stupid. You have access to the Thinker who has this high supercomputer level intellect, and you're telling me she didn't do anything? You want to tell me she didn't do anything with that? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Like, I don't believe you that she wouldn't take advantage of this. And Marvel not touching back on her character. One is a downside of having so many characters and so many stories going on back to back that you choose or can't focus on one thing and just do that. So
We are undefeatable!
Power Broker that is one character that I can't expect anything from her. I don't feel like I can expect anything from her. At least not now, not soon. I want something. I want something, personally. Alright, I'm probably halfway through the video, so let me start going into how I think the movie's gonna go. So, the way I think Doomsday could start is that you have the attack of Doctor Doom on the Kang dynasty, the Council of Kangs. He annihilates them, and either the Kangs cripple him or injure the Doom that we see going into the film. So either they injure him badly, or maybe a Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness scenario where they get him to a point of a fatal injury, and this Doom has to go to a variant. For example, enter variant from Fantastic Four First Steps, telling them that the multiverse is in danger and only you can save it. Having Doom be the Hulk messenger or from Infinity War, or you have Kang come in and be the absolute greatest of all time and wipe the floor with all of them, and he now has to go and take the responsibility to try and save everyone because he sees that the multiverse is in danger of collapsing on itself. And that leads to the hunt for Franklin Richards, which Doom would already have access to. Loki, God of stories, or God of time, as help for this issue, and in a third, Doctor Strange, who would be at least in my mind AFK, is not available in Doomsday. But one character that Doom would go after, is Carol Danvers, and the reason I I say that is because after the ending of the Marvels, I think her focus would be fully on getting Monica Rambeau back. And part of that would be trying to find ways to travel the multiverse in order to get her back, and that would cause the problems. That could either be a driving force or an extra little tack on what's unraveling the multiverse apart. So, Doom is trying to get Captain Marvel or someone who, or Spider-Man if they choose. Like Spider-Man, but they choose to, but he's not available either. Or try and find everyone who has caused trouble for the multiverse in some way, shape, or form. That's Doom's perspective. So, how do we get to this point? So, because of what, if you want to include Secret Invasions, because of the animosity towards aliens, Skrulls, anything that's non-human, and from Captain Marvel and the Marvels, all the Skrulls that were on the the planet colony are now on Asgard. You now have the American government or insurgents wanting to eliminate all aliens from Earth, and that would make New Asgard a prime target, a prime vulnerable spot. And then you also have the American government that's trying to deconstruct or cause instability in Wakanda. And that's how you would enter Wakanda and Talokan with Namor into this. So you'd have the new Avengers. You have the scene with them having seen the Fantastic Four spaceship and have the spaceship orbit around the Earth. Don't have it come down yet. So what happens is that there's insurgents or Sam Wilson's Avengers that he recruits are going to New Asgard to fight with Valkyrie, fighting for the people of Asgard and the Skrulls there, because you have insurgents trying to come in and attack them as a full-on no aliens. But you have, because American citizens or American insurgents are part of this group, you'd have Valentina or the New Avengers be called to go to New Asgard and either stop the insurgents or make sure none of their citizens are lost in the ensuing fight. And that would lead to the New Avengers and Captain America Avengers team about to fight. And I mean, they are on the precipice of a fight, like almost the Captain America Civil War standoff scene at the airport in Civil War. You get even to the point where they're charging at each other, about to lay the first blow. But before it does, the Fantastic Four ship comes into Earth's orbit and lands right there at New Asgard. So up to this, because the reason I would say have the New Avengers ignore the threat at the moment is because with the urgency of the attack in New Asgard and the ship it seems to be doing nothing but orbiting the planet where it's not on a collision course, they prioritize the situation in New Asgard. So they prioritize that. Have the Fantastic Four come down they look for whoever's in charge, and maybe for a moment you get a sly, quick joke with who's saying who's in charge, and then you say Sam Wilson says he's in charge, and then you say Red Guardian says they're in charge, something like that. So either way, like Reed cuts him off. It says you're in danger. The multiverse is in danger. We need your, and you all are going to die unless you let us help you. Or that a villain from our universe is coming for someone in this universe, and we need your help to find them. And that's when they hunt for Carol Danvers, who is possibly in the midst of trying to find Monica Rambeau, and whatever experiment she's doing, whether it be with the negabands or another means of multiversal travel, is about to perform the procedure, and the Avengers have to come in and tell her to stop, which would cause a small conflict there. So the moment with the Fantastic Four would quell the conflict in New Asgard for the time being. You'd have the government try to tell the new Avengers just to do something about Captain America's insurgency and these out of universe invaders, but have Yelena make the choice saying we have it under control, they're not a threat. Then we keep going through the story. So from then on, it can go somewhat either way. And wondering, like, I'm not trying to predict how the thing would be, especially since I don't know the real nuts and crannies of the Secret Wars book comic. I don't know the nitty-gritty details, but you probably have to balance it between the Avengers, whereas like the heroes and Doom. You have to balance it between the two, and I think one way to make it stand out is if you do it different from Thanos, where unlike how Thanos did it, he had the Black Order do stuff for him. If you could establish Doombots doing things for him, you could do that, or have Doom do either this variant of Doom who wiped out the Council of Kangs, or the Doom that was warned by his variant to save the multiverse. Have it do it all by himself, and have him be the guy who he gets stuff done. He gets stuff done. No question about it. So, going from there, it can go either way, because everything that I've just stated kind of has to be the first 20 minutes. I would say, like, let's say it's a 2-hour movie or more, I think the first 20 minutes has to be that, setting up Doom and establishing who are the Avengers, and the new Avengers, have them have a brief squabble, but then squash it, and now we have to go on this fetch quest for either Loki or Captain Marvel, trying to get Monica Rambeau back. And that would lead to the hijinks in the Fox X-Men universe. So, and then with each individual team, I don't know how they'll use Bob, aka Sentry. I don't know how they're going to use him, but I want to be surprised. In terms of Wakanda and Talokan, I do think that the government, like, for example, say the government wants to still do like do the attack on Wakanda, and then you have the new Asgard. Have the government split its forces down the middle, and either the new Avengers all go to New Asgard, and then a large chunk of the military or army goes in to attack Wakanda, and Wakanda is ready to fight back. And Talokan was they were called, and Namor is ready to fight alongside them, or either Wakanda reaches out to them for help. They were going to, but Doom comes to Namor and tells him, "You will help me, or I will kill all your people." Well, and when Namor inevitably thinks Doom is bluffing and attacks him, thinking he's strong enough, Doom shows his power, or putting Namor in his place, so that it's either you will serve me or you will die. And have Namor be a conniving backstabber, at least for this Doom. Like, he'll serve Doom, but he's not gonna fully submit to him. He's not gonna fully submit. He's going to look for an opportunity to backstab Doom when it is most convenient. And then maybe that's when he suggests, like, I have vowed to help Wakanda in a moment of crisis. If I help them, they'll be indebted to me, and then I will have them serve you. That could be a way to go about it. As for Love and Thor, yes, have Love still be in the picture. Have her still be here, even if if she's left on Earth, or if she's in the background. Just keep her there. Keep her in the story. Maybe have, like, Valkyrie call to Captain Marvel, saying that's another way you could do it, where Valkyrie calls to Captain Marvel saying the governments of the Earth are coming to attack the Skrulls, and she also calls out to either the Guardians of the Galaxy or Thor saying New Asgard is about to be under attack from the American government, and that's how you get Thor in on this. As for the Guardians of the Galaxy, I would say for them, you probably say they can't answer at this moment, because maybe they're dealing with a potential, like, incursion at the end of the galaxy, or what the ramifications of another incursion in showing up. And that's how the Fantastic Four can say your world is in danger, and the Guardians of the Galaxy, the current team, sending this message of what they're seeing. Reed Richards points to it and says, this is just signs of it. These are just repercussions of what is to come. So let's see. Then Hulk is supposed to be, I think, he's supposed to be in Brand New Day. She-Hulk, I do want her still in the MCU going forward, but I don't think she would have unless Sam Wilson recruits her, unless she goes out and recruits her, I don't think she has that big of a role in Doomsday. I would want her in this new Captain America's Avengers. I would want her in it, but otherwise I don't see how you put her in this. I personally don't see it outside of making her an Avenger. Shang-Chi, please put Shang-Chi, put him in Captain America's Avengers team. He needs to be in this, and you can have the beacon that the 10 Rings were sending at the end of the film, have that be a message that was either going to the Council of Kangs, literally, have it a signal that was going to the Council of Kangs, and when Doom annihilated them, he found that signal He found that signal, took it for himself, and maybe he's looking for Shang-Chi to find out what that signal is going to. So that's another option. He can wipe out the Castle of Kang, see that this signal has been incoming from this timeline on Earth, and goes to find it and finds Shang-Chi. And maybe Shang-Chi could be the one who meets up with Doom, thinks he's a threat, have it be the moment where Doom sits Shang-Chi down, whether it be by choice or by force, and tries to explain his side of the story, and he gets Shang-Chi, the first one, possibly on his side, saying this guy knows how to save the multiverse, and because Shang-Chi hasn't met at Reed Richards or the Fantastic Four yet, that he's ill-informed on if Doom is lying, if he's manipulating him. He sees things from Doom's perspective because he's the first person Shang-Chi meets that knows what's going on, seems to have active knowledge on what's going on and how to solve it. So, well, that could be an interesting dynamic, at least in my mind. Then what else? Deadpool and Wolverine. I do feel they'll be in Secret Wars, but I feel like they don't, unless you're going to deal with the multiverse shenanigans, and I don't think they would come into the story, if anything, until the tail end. They'd have to be near the tail end of Doomsday going into Secret Wars. To me, that's what you'd have to do if you want to bring them into this, because I just feel like, yes, you could do the fourth wall breaking Deadpool logic to have it work, but it's like so much is going on. How you going to work it? What else? Scarlet Witch, as it stands right now, she's dead, unless Marvel, for whatever reason, does use a comic book to explain how she's alive in the MCU. But otherwise, I'm like, I would want her to, at least for now, is either dead right now in Doomsday, comes back in Secret Wars, or post Secret Wars. Agatha all along apparently set up a bunch of characters. For example, Death and Wicked. I think I think they'd have to show up later, because I don't see how much they would fit into it, how much they fit into the story. Like, Death honestly has almost no relevance unless she's like a harbinger of doom, saying pun not intended there, pun not intended, a harbinger of destruction for the amount of death that's about to engulf the multiverse, with everything coming to an end and being destroyed. Wicked, don't know how he'd fit in here. Ironheart, oh my goodness, okay, Ironheart, it set up such great stuff. I just don't think it'll be followed up on, or if it is, it ain't getting followed up on until post Secret Wars. In my eyes, it's not getting touched on until post Secret Wars. So if you're going to bring Ironheart into this, you'd either have to fast track her arc, making a deal with Mephisto, or have it be that she still is inflicted by this deal during Doomsday. During Doomsday, you have her still affected by the deal. And it's like, I would like to see Ironheart in this, but I do feel like she'll either be her own vigilante hero or part of the champions. So I don't feel like they'll be able to have too big of a role. The Hood doesn't need to show up at all. Again, this is stuff that I think is post Secret Wars stuff. Darn. Like, like the YouTuber Nando V Movies, or the Nando Cut, made a video saying, like, Marvel should wait on Doomsday. And the reason I disagree is that what at least what he's asking for was that what Nando v Movies was implying was that one, I feel like he said made these statements one after Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four First Steps came out, and they were great movies in my opinion. They're great movies. And if that wasn't the case, I almost don't feel like he'd say the same thing if they came out and they weren't great movies with great characters, etc. If they weren't all that, I fear he wouldn't say the same thing. So, oh, and I get it. I do get it that with what has been set up in Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four First Steps, these are great things on their own that could be expanded upon on that it with more focus and expansion with that and some other things from the past as we can enrich what the multiverse saga currently is before we wipe it clean or wipe it roughly clean. But I do think that much in a similar vein to getting to Superman and after the announcement from James Gunn that the DCEU was over, getting to the finish line, I we don't need to rush it where we make haphazard, stupid mistakes, but not saying like we're starting something different or a little bit new, but prolonging it so far, prolonging it so long that you're buying out the audience's time. Now, when it comes to Secret Wars being or Doomsday being multi-part movies, that I'm cool with. Yes, it would prolong it. Yes, it would prolong it. But to me, Secret Wars especially, that is a multi-movie idea. Because even if you just split it to Secret Wars Part 1, Secret Wars Part 2, to me, and if each of them are 2 plus, maybe 3 hours long, I'm down for that. I'm down for that because that is to me a last hurrah for a lot of actors and characters from the previous 20 to 30 years of Marvel movies coming to an end, and we can move forward into a new era of Marvel live action movies, at least, where you have the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and the Avengers all in one. All in one. Like what Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes did about what was it now 10 years ago, 15 years ago, as a TV show, in a cartoon TV show with amazing art style and to me amazing stories, because being able to accomplish that way before the MCU did to have that on the big screen is something that kids growing up now, I wish I had that privilege. Now I am happy for what I have now. I grew up with the MCU as it is now. I I was 8 years old when Iron Man came out, and I've watched it ever since. I've grown up with it. I've seen its ups, I've seen its downs. I've agreed. I loved a lot of stuff, but I've also disagreed and even maybe hated a few things. But what could potentially come up post Secret Wars has me excited beyond belief. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching this video. Oh, I know I was rambling, going in different directions. I'll need to try and do this again, maybe possibly say something after I've seen Avatar Fire and Ash and see the teaser. I will say for the teaser, I personally don't want to see Doom's full suit. I don't want to see his full look. If anything, I would want it to be like almost like as it is in Fantastic Four First Steps, where we see his cloak and then maybe he turns his head and we just see one eye. That's all I want to see from that teaser. Or if anything, like a quick shot, not a full shot of Doom. I want to save that for the big screen. But if it's going to be a teaser, at least tell us what are the Avengers? What Avengers team do we have? Give us something to savor on for the next year. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Comment, like, subscribe, share this video. Hope you enjoyed it. React to my madness. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for listening to me ramble. See you later.